You hear that? No, you didn't. I'm sitting in front of you with my grainy ass iMac that I bought in 2023. I didn't even buy it. My girl bought it because I gave her an iPad that a Chinese man gave me. I didn't mean to bring up his race. My freshman year roommate gave me an iPad who happened to be Chinese and 30 years old. And my girlfriend, I gave it to her as a gift. And her bitch ass went to a Apple store and got an iMac with my iPad. And that's what I'm shooting on right now. This shit's grainy as fuck. It came out in like 2023 or something. Like, I don't know how we're still on this. I guess I'm gonna have some like dumbass AI overlay over it where it's just like I'm smooth as fuck. But anyways, that's just the fucking intro about this. And like I'm trying to like find a middle ground of doing those videos where those guys, they sit in front of like a grainy ass camera like I am right now. Except mine's authentic. I generally just can't like get something better right now. And talk about something like, bro, I feel behind in life. Like I feel behind. Bro, you need to be autism maxing. I don't say the R word. I gave up on the R word. And I've been called that my entire life, and it's not doing it anymore. When you say that, you're putting in the same category of other people who I hate. Most people. I mean, like, I don't ever really want to be compared to people like that. It's demeaning. But anyways. So, you're thinking, like, oh, is there, like, an overall arcing point with, like, this video? And, like, there isn't. I was going to tell you what happened to me this week. And I'm going to tell you my opinion on how, like, my worldview kind of changed on it. So, I guess I'll just start with it with, like, Saturday. I guess past Friday. So, today's Friday. So, it's been about a week. That's exactly a week. So, this past Friday, I had off. Me and my girl, she's tapped in with the lesbians, and we went to a lesbian, it's not even a strip event, but it was, like, a dance club. And so, but, like, they had, like, dance performers. I guess they are strippers, but, like, the performance of the night is more like, I guess there's a pole. It was more like go-go dancing. It's not like they're doing anything like super crazy. And so I live in LA. I don't know. I'll dox myself. Where? Probably easy to figure out. Maybe not. I might have to edit that out. Yes, I'm in SoCal, Los Angeles, and we went down to San Diego for the weekend. I could say that. So I went down to San Diego for the weekend with my girl, and it was pretty lit. And so we went to this club where her friends were dancing, and I got to meet them, and they're very nice, hardworking individuals who deserve a lot of respect and work very hard for the money that they receive. And they happened to recruit me to count the ones. And I'm like, hell yeah, I love counting. One thing about me is I love counting. I was on Adderall that day. I'm like, yes, thank fucking God I can count by numerals and digits, by ones. And so they were like, oh, we'll give you $100 for the night if you just like count up the ones for like 6 hours. I was like, I fucking love counting. I don't care if that's like above a little 6 hours divided by 100. It's a little less than 20. But I don't give a fuck. I was happy. Like I wasn't gonna really like. I'd rather be counting ones than like trying to party at a lesbian club as a cis straight man with a girlfriend. But anyway, so they're like, okay, bro, we're gonna get you $100. We're gonna get you a couple drink tokens, and we're gonna get you a burger. And I was like, hell yes. And so I did all that. It was lit. I met the dancers. They're all once again very nice and very hardworking and very deserving. You know, they deserve the utmost respect. I have the utmost respect for that profession. And so my girl's a comedic genius. I'm going to go ahead and tag her right here or do something, put her at as if she doesn't have 100,000 followers and me 1,000. So she takes this very funny reel of me just counting the ones like I was paid to, and edited in the way where it was like my boyfriend made a misogynistic joke. So made him come to the strip club. It didn't even make sense. I thought it was funny because like it didn't make sense. You know what I mean? And so she posted that. I was like, well, I mean, like this isn't the first time we've done like a reel like this where it's just like I think it's funny, but then also it's just like it's to me, it's just a little inconsequential. You know what I mean? Where it's just like, you know, this is a good little. Well, we gotta get the content out. We gotta post that shit daily. I don't even remember what happens, but like, a day passes by and I get like 100 comments calling me like a cuck, and I'm like, how? Because I go with my girl to a lesbian strip club at a lesbian bar at a lesbian event, and then, like, there's some people who like are trying to outwoke me and be like, so you support sex trafficking? I'm like, I know every single person there, and it's just like, I can tell you never took a step outside. Debate me on the subject, I fucking dare you. I really fucking dare you. But anyways, so I mean, like, these are all people I know, and it's also just like, it's by a club that doesn't do like stripping. It was just like go-go dancing basically with a pole. And so I'm just telling you about my week because this is like the most like fucking life-changing week I've had basically. So I did that, and then we go to one like the dancer, like one of the dancers named Charm. She's very, very incredibly nice. She hosted us at her crib, and she told us on how to buy a house in Southern California. And I was like, that's lit. I fucking love that. I love learning about mortgages. Once again, I love money. I love counting mortgages and interest rates, or just advanced counting. I mean, not super advanced, but it's just like, I love learning about finances, and like I love seeing people like live out their lives and live out their finances. I think it's very important. And she gave us some great advice saying that, like, you know, when you buy a house, it's real. And also just like, she said she didn't know how she was going to buy a house if she wasn't a stripper. And I was like, it's probably true. I'm fucked. But it was nice to know, nice to learn. And once again, I treat these people with the utmost respect. I mean, truly only because of my girlfriend and my, you know, in proximity to these people. And so, very nice, very smart people, very hardworking, very sociable, very friendly. And once again, I can't shout out the community enough for that. Sex work, strippers, all of them. So, continuing, like, it was chill. We went down. It coincidentally was my friend's birthday. And so, also happened to be in San Diego. So, we went to the Airbnb. I don't know, just talk shit. There were, you know, get lit. Watch some Minecraft ARGs. Shout out the Run Sonic one. That one's funny as fuck. I don't know. It's kind of bad, but I mean, I thought it was hilarious. I relate to that Sonic character a little bit. And so that was lit. Rode a bike around like Oceanside for a little bit. And then Monday comes, and so that'd been Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Sunday. Well, no, we get back Sunday. So, and then like, that was chill. And then, so Monday, I was about to buy a ticket to a Christ Dillinger show, and very, very prominent rapper, lots of bangers. Switchy came with the Monkey Nuts, and he has this one where just like, he raps over an Animal Crossing beat. Well, it's not even a beat; it's an Animal Crossing instrumental. I fuck with that shit. And then I'm trying to think of anything else that's on top of my head, but love him or hate him, you know what? He's on the Spotify. And so I was going to see him, and I clarneted that shit, and I parked the car in the wrong spot. So our parking at our apartment is numbered, and we paid for it. Well, she pays for it. I don't pay for shit. I prefer to keep it that way. But so it was like, I parked in 81, and you're supposed to park in 83. And just because I was 2 spaces off, my shit gets towed. Her shit gets towed. I'm not paying. I don't pay for shit. That car bill, that's her. The car insurance and gas, also her. But I do pay for the insurance and gas. Like, so. But besides the point, anyway, so that shit gets towed. And I hate to say it, but 3 weeks ago earlier, I did the exact same thing. And that shit got towed. So the first time, I was like, okay. I pulled out a new credit card beforehand, very coincidentally, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna run this up. Quick $350, I got that. This time, I'm like, babe, my bill ain't come through yet. So we go and Klarna this shit. Again, that tow fee and that Christ Dillinger ticket, that shit's going on Klarna. And so she's pissed as fuck, and I'm like, I get it. Currently, I'll get to this, but I worked as a petitioner, so I'm going around LA just asking people their opinion on the fire department. So that Tuesday I had, so Monday happens, no Christ Dillinger show, no car. Tuesday happens, and basically I'm like, okay, I'm at work. I'm trying to say, hey, help support the firefighters. I'm at this Whole Foods at Venice Beach, and I got a call from Bay, and she's giving me the cold shoulder. Understandably so. I mean, I'm not here to air her out in any slightest way, but it's just like she's freaking out because she says we don't have money. I'm like, who do you mean we? I got the rackies, and I'm like, well, it put me in a precarious scenario because like I didn't get my check yet, and so like I would usually be good for these things, but you know what? I'm going to admit some fallibility on my end where it's just like I have not been managing my finances well. That's a huge part of my personality, and I slipped up on it. So I'm like, okay, Bae, I hear you. We need this car before it gets put up to auction or put a lien on it. So I'm like, I call it Mommy. I'm like, Mommy, let me borrow a quarter of a rack real quick. Just a quarter of a rack. She surprisingly says yes, and lets me borrow some money. And so, with that, I called an emergency to my boss and said, "Hey, can I get a lift back to the office so I can go home?" And they listened to me. It's like, okay, things are kind of going my way despite it being my fault. So I did that, and so I go back, and I'm like, no, it's all good. I mean, she pays like, so I asked Mommy for $250, and then she had $250. That's how much it was going to be. It was about like $460. So this time, yeah, unfortunately, I had to split it. I know it's my fault. I have to pay for all of it, and I still owe her. But I take it. We put our money together, and I go in by myself, and I put it in. I took a lift, and I told her about the scenario, and she offered me some Trader Joe's mints, and that was a very blissful moment. I know there's supposed to be like an underlying narrative to this, other than just me venting about my shitty week. And I suppose like a lot of it has to do with like just interacting with people, even on a small talk basis. How's everyone in small talk? And I'm bringing this up because the reason why I feel like I can't get through this shit, and it's not even that hard, but I'm just a pussy. It's because I tell people that, like, who I don't know, that I'm having a bad day. It's not even like a bad day, but just like, I got something precarious happening. And they're like, damn, dude, I got something precarious happening. Like, and so she was like, damn, like, I hate getting towed. That's one of the worst things about LA, just being towed. And they're Trader Joe's mints. And I'm like, shit. So I pull up, and I get the car. We got the rackies, the half a rack, that I don't have, and I whip it on out of there. Of course, Bay's upset with me. I've been in the doghouse. I've been in the doghouse for like past 4 days at this point. She loves me, but sometimes you gotta put the dog in the doghouse, and you gotta put the dog in the doghouse, or you gotta put the dog down. He hasn't put the dog down yet. The dog stays up. The dog's in me. So that happens, and I'm like, I can't even like fucking doom scroll because like I open Instagram and like bam, 2050 new comments calling me a cuck on this dumbass reel, and then the next day I open to that dumbass reel again, and now they're just calling us like Jewish, as if that were an insult. I'm not Jewish, but I live where the Hasids are at, and I fuck with them. I was previously employed by the Jews, the Jewish people, making some bagels, and they invented that shit, so I have a job. I love bagels and I love Jewish people. And when I see someone in my Instagram.com reels saying that as an insult, I get pissed upon with my Jewish brothers. It's fucked up. It's fucked up what you guys got to go through. My name's literally Christian, and it says that on my fucking page, and they're just going to call me Jewish. You can't have shit. You cannot. Your name means nothing. So I think we're at like Wednesday at this point. And so I go to work. I work Wednesday. Yeah, I worked Wednesday. I also work Tuesday. I called in early Tuesday. I worked Monday like regularly. Um, Wednesday, I finished my shift, and I think I do a good job. Um, so Wednesday, you gotta like when you get the signatures, you gotta talk with like your boss, basically your manager, and be like, oh, what happened today? And so like I put it in, and I was like, oh, I'm ready to check out. Here's my signatures. Come validate me. And he's like, oh yeah, you were put on standard, which means that like I'm on the shit list. I was like, oh yeah, I was. Was there like a problem? Because that was like, let's just say Thursday. And so I worked Friday. No, I didn't work Friday. Yeah, I worked Thursday. And I worked Thursday and Monday. And I did well those 2 days. The previous Thursday and the Monday after. And so I did well those 2 days. And he was like, yeah, you're right. You got like a good validity score on those 2 days. However, the day that you called out Tuesday, you got a shit one. I was like, damn. And they were like, yeah, I mean, like, it happens. Just like, let's hope it goes up. And I was like, well, you're telling me this at the end of today. And it's just like, I'm not going to blame, I do blame them. But it's not like, I hold no malice. I only hold, like, I want satisfaction. I demand satisfaction. But anyways, that Thursday, I'll describe to you, like, what went down. So I kind of skipped over, like, my work. Because, like, I go out literally in the city and just ask people for signatures. Like, everybody. I try to do that. I do not discriminate. And so Thursday, they sent me to downtown LA. I'm at the 7th Street Metro. And I'm like, I get all the people who are, like, corporate, like, professionals, business professionals on their lunch. And I did an okay job with that. And then I went in the Metro. And so in the Metro, I don't know why many people in LA are scared of the Metro. It's perfectly fine. I never had, like, I literally am harassing people in the Metro, and, like, I've never received, like, anything negative. I'm not saying you should go do that, but I will say, like, you can sit your ass on the fucking train and save the earth. That's what I'm trying to say. So I did that. I go around and like ask people, and people are very generally nice, and they do sign it, and like I have a good chat with them. And like the only thing noted that day was that someone did pull a gun out on somebody, but apparently it's not that big of a deal. He just got on his train, like the guy with the gun got on the train and just left, and just didn't cause the scene. But the guy afterwards was like, he was gangbanging. A knife and a gun, that's gangbanging. That's no joke. That's what he was saying. I was like, you're right, that is no joke. On the train. It's like, you would think that'd be like a terrorist threat, but it's not. It's just like, it's just like, it's an altercation, but it's not like, I don't know. But anyways, so they did that, and I was like, okay. I got their signatures, not the altercation people, but people around the altercation people. Causing scene's really good for that, because I'm like, hey, I help fund the fire department. They don't help with that shit, but like, what if there was a fire also happening? So there's that, and like, I thought I did a good job too. And so I go back, and then like I said, my mentor was like, oh, but I wasn't aware I was being evaluated that day, which I don't know, just kind of exposes me of being a good worker or not, or if I'm good at petitioning or not, but like, so I wasn't aware. I was like, you know what, fuck it. Like, I did my best today. Thursday, I called out because because Day was upset. Truthfully, like, real men, you gotta do it. You really gotta do it. You gotta call out. If Bay's hurting, you gotta call out, man. If you love her, that's what you gotta do. So I did it, and like, I wanted a day off, sure, because I was going to plan on working the entire week, 2 weeks. Like, rest of the campaign ends in May. And, so I did that. And we didn't really do that much yesterday. I helped her out with her video, and she had a friend come over, and it's just like, it's not that, well, it was nice. I enjoy spending time with her, and I enjoy, just relaxing, like, trying to relax a little bit. I wasn't really relaxed. And then I get a message at 9:30 from one of my supervisors that my schedule tomorrow has been reduced for a conversation about my rates, the validity score. That's the thing that you're supposed to care about. And I was like, okay, well, I'm getting fired, like, straight up. And I accepted it then and there, and I was like, well, just got applied. It's really easy to get petitioning jobs. I only took it because I got 27 an hour, the most I ever got paid, period. So I was like, no, whatever. I knew I was on the shit list, and I knew I was just facing it. So I got that, and that's a nice thing to go to bed to. And then, baby's still upset because I'm also telling her all this shit that is happening to me, and that does not make her feel better. You gotta be transparent with your life, you know what I mean? You gotta tell people what you go through. So, Friday comes, which is today, the day I'm filming it. And I wake up, and I'm like, no, wait a minute. I won't get fired. I actually am going to argue myself out of this. I'm actually going to show them how good at my job I am and how important I am. And so I don't remember what I did this morning. I was like, let's do some socials, and I'm going to apply for some other jobs just in case. So I'm actually running late, and I got a Lyft. I hate getting a Lyft because it's, expensive. Compared to the bus. I love taking the bus. As I said, I'm Metro. So I take the bus, and no, I don't take the bus. I take the Lyft. Let's edit this one. So I take the Lyft, and homie pulls up in like a Tesla, and I was like, okay, I hate Elon Musk, but I know these things go fast, and I'm like, bro, you gotta step on it, because like I was about to take the car, and then it was just my fault. But I was running late. I was like, bro, you gotta step on it, and I'll leave it tip. And I was like, okay. He was like, okay. And so he's like running red lights. He's like doing all this shit. I arrived to the office, which is about 15 minutes away. Once again, I can take the bus to it, but and so they had me wait. God, dude. Oh my god, that's the thing that pisses me off the most. You ever like fucking think you're in a rush for something, like an interview, an appointment, a date, and then like you tell the Uber driver, step on it. You step on it. Maybe you get a ticket or something, and then you arrive early, and they're not even there, not even ready. What was the point? But anyways, so they don't get to me till like 2:30, and when I was supposed to be there at 2. And I thought it was gonna be a big deal. I thought it was like they're all gonna talk to me, and we're able to talk this one out. No, it's just one person, and they just like take me to the side, and they're like, "So, you already know what's happening." And I was like, "All right." And they're like, "We're gonna have to let you go." And I was like, "Cut me the check." Like I said, what I said earlier about like this past Monday, we're just like, I don't got that money. I guess now I do because I got fired. They cut the check. It's like shit. And I have to interweave this throughout the story. I was also leaving my other job making bagels, which I said about the Jewish people, how they saved my life. I was like, I appreciate you guys. There's only one Jewish person there. The rest of them were Mexican. I was like, I appreciate you guys. I'm on the up. I got a full-time job, 27 an hour. We're on the up. And I gotta leave you all behind. But I appreciate you guys. And so they also cut me that check the day before. I was like, that check was $60. So this check is a bigger check, but it's not covering my rent. So I'm like, whatever. So they cut me the check, and I'm like, can I reapply, or can I like do something else? They're like, yeah, that was really it. I mean, it's just like, okay. So I come home, I tell Bae everything. I mean, she's been knowing about this, so I'm like, all right. And I do all this shit, and she was like, you got full send social media. And I was like, at this point, you're right. Because it's just like, I've been begging for a 9-to-5, the most boring shit. Bro, like I said, I love counting money. Be a bank teller. Be a banker. I don't know, do some random bullshit and then become an accountant. I mean, I got a degree, it's not in accounting, but some CPA shit. I don't know. And so I do all that, and like, I said, like, damn it, like, I hate that. I'm gonna have to rely on social media now. That fucking sucks. I just hit 1,000 followers on Instagram, And like I know that's kind of a big deal. Like I'm from a small rural town, so it's just like, oh, you big shit, and it's just like coming to LA where it's just like you're like average. You at 1,000 followers, like okay, people will tolerate you in a conversation, and that's it. Um, and I mean, like I don't even specialize in anything specific. I mean, like I like music and shit, and like I like being funny and topical, but it's just like okay, so does everyone else. So it's just like whatever. Um, so I'm like, damn, you right. I made this Chinese shitpost reel. I'm talking about a lot about Chinese and Jewish people. It's because I grew up with them. My best friends throughout most of my life were Chinese and Jewish people. But anyways, so, and then I'm like, well, I didn't even drink this once, and it's been 26 minutes. I was supposed to like be drinking, but it's got a lot on my mind. So what I want to say is that like this, it was a terrible week, but it's also like it wasn't terrible in the way where it's like, damn, like I'm in hell right now. It's just like my life is just being changed, and I just don't want it to be. But it's just like, is it seriously in this direction? Because a lot of this shit sucks. Like the entire time, like I know I'm not making enough. I know Bay mad at me. I know that my socials are shit. I know I'm being called like a cuck for some fucking reason every day. And it's just like, well, it's for a reason. Like I'm not gonna be overly positive where it's like, I just pushed through it. I'm just gonna be like, well, I'm not being killed. Like, I'm not being sentenced to death here. Is this seriously like the worst of it? And it's just like I don't want to get cocky and be like, oh, it can get worse. Like I can very much be just like put in a scenario. But it's just like, well, I'm not dead. And it's like, my biggest insecurity is like finances and shit. And I'm going to be very transparent about that. I hate dragging people. Like I said, I borrowed money from mommy. That's the first time I've done that. I've had to. And like people say, oh, it's the economy, or try to make me feel good, or be like, oh, it's your mother, you're supposed to do that. I hate that shit, bro. So even if it is like a quarter of a rack, a little 200 sack, and I'm like, I still hate that. I hate like involving anybody with that because that shit has like real world consequences. You know what I mean? Where it's like I'd rather default bankrupt, and I will plan on it. But it's just like I know it's smart because I know I can get that money back. If it were like I'm truly fucked, it's like we're Klarnaing everything and not paying that shit back, bro. Every single app, Affirm, Afterpay. I got this one called Tilt, Moneyline, Beast Games, Mr. Beast. I'm pulling up Mr. Beast. Guys, like, I want to get, like, a fucking, like, stake rain bet affiliate marketing thing. The next reel you'll see, like, I'm going to pull out, like, rain bet. Oh. That's what we're on. Low-key, this video is supposed to be, like, a prop for that. So, degenerate gambling arc, scamming all my fans arc coming soon. Just kidding. I wouldn't do that to y'all. I mean, like, but anyways, I don't have a fan base, so it doesn't really matter. But what I will say is that, like, what I'm taking away from it is, it's like, yeah, I'm not dead. And it's just like, I have most of the things I have right now anyways. And it's just like, I'm just, like, being, like, kind of poked over and over again and just being annoyed. And, like, it's just giving me some perspective where it's just like, I'm not just meant for, like, a 9 to 5. I'm not just meant to like think that like, oh, I can just get money by doing regular work. I mean, I've tried it over and over and over again, and it's just like it's just not happening. I got a degree in something that involves money, and it's just like, how can I not make this work? And I do a decent job, and it's just like, oh, you can say the economy, you can say Gen Z is just fucked, but it's just like, I try not to subscribe to the idea that it's just like I'm suffering with others. I know we got to band together and get ourselves out, like the trenches basically, but like, I don't even want to say trenches. Like, I live in the 6th floor of an apartment in LA. Like, I'm fine. But, bro, like, we're going to run up that Klarna. We're going to run up. My credit score is going down. And I know it sounds mature of me to think that, but just, like, that's just how I think. And, like, but, I mean, like, I never am going to subscribe to the idea that, like, I'm going to be shat on. It's going to be continuous, or that I'm lost, or, like, I'm, like, not doing something good for myself. And, like, I come from a rural town, small town in Southwest, I guess. and I moved to LA, and I'm like, I didn't even have any intentions of like doing influencer shit, movie shit. I just kind of wanted to live a normal life like in a city. I don't even want to be famous or anything like that. And like it's ironic because I'm making a video, but the only thing that's worked out for me so far is social media. Like I have worked social media jobs, and I currently do freelancing for that right now, and that's the only thing that's paying the bills. So that's what I'm saying. Like how I know like I'll be okay at the very least. But it's just so like hard to trust yourself and like always bet on yourself. But like you got to. If you're not going to bet on yourself, who is? So. So I'm trying to take away from that because it's just like I'm not gonna like fold under pressure like that, and I am feeling the pressure right now. But it's also just like, man, some finesse. Like, bro, like we're gonna hit a lick on Klarna once again. We're gonna hit a lick on Affirm. That's just what we're doing, and like fuck it, my lease ends in 2 months. If it really gets that bad, I'm just kidding. I'm not gonna do that. But like, I was about to say, I mean, I'm going to keep it real. You can always just kill yourself. I don't want to, I'm not even saying that in a negative way. I'm definitely going to cut this one out, but like, shit. You always can. And, I don't know. I wanted to have like a good overall message because like, I'm trying to almost like parodize like some of these videos where it's like people are just like, my life is ruined, and it took me 20 years to realize it. It took me 10 years to realize it. Nobody likes me. I get no pussy. And it's like a very conventionally attractive like guy or something, or it's just like, I don't fucking know. But I just made this because like I need to get something out, and like it was pretty cathartic, like just speaking on it in a way where it's just like I can't afford a therapist, so I just have to speak it out to YouTube and for the chance of getting monetized, or I can edit it into like a reel or something on my very popular Instagram page. But yeah, so this has been my week, and I'm not going to say I don't want to leave like with some bullshit saying that like, oh, you're going to be all right, it's going to be all positive, but it's just like I'm more so of the idea where it's just like at least believe in yourself of being okay. Like you may not like Earl Sweatshirt where he says like I'm not okay, but I'm going to be all right. That's literally just how it's going to be. And I believe in that like a lot, where it's just like I'm not going to be happy about everything constantly, but it's just like I know I'll be all right. And it's just like I want to be able to help the people around me, and that's what makes me happy. I want to be able to like pay mommy back, or have people rely on me, or like be a man of my word. That's the thing that gives me the most joy out of anything in life. But my personal happiness, it will take a backseat to that if the priority comes to it. So, I don't have an overall message other than like it's gonna be alright, but just admit it when it sucks, and like just don't pretend to like be happy when you're not. It's totally fine, and like also just don't wallow in like your own like depression. Don't wallow in your own sadness. And I'm not saying this as actual advice. It's kind of just saying I'm speaking to a Mac photo booth right now, so it's just like it's just a reflection of myself.